going on, Misfit Nation? Welcome to another episode of the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I am back this week for your SmackDown review for February the 24th, 2023. I apologize for never getting my Raw review up or AEW Dynamite review. I don't know what it was. I was dead ass tired this week, but I didn't get any of those done, unfortunately. I do apologize, but I will hopefully start to get my flow back. But if you'd like what you see here, hit the subscribe button, comment down below, hit the like button, follow the social medias, Misfit Podcast TV on Twitter, Misfit Wrestling Pod on Instagram, Misfit Wrestling Podcast on Facebook, right here, youtube.com/at Misfit Wrestling Podcast, and the other audio devices that you can on, or not audio devices, audio outlets, which is Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, Stitcher, Pandora, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcast. All of them good stuff here. Go over something here. We're going to talk about SmackDown here. All this good stuff here that happened on SmackDown. I mean, SmackDown was a missable show. Nothing like mind blowing happened here. We got more stuff on the Bloodline. WWE basically told you that this story between the Bloodline has never been about Sami Zayn winning the fucking title. I'm so happy that WWE basically told you this. We also seen, and we'll talk about that. We also seen a confrontation, not a lot physical confrontation, but confrontation nonetheless between Charlotte Flair and her WrestleMania opponent, the winner of the Royal Rumble, the Women's Royal Rumble, Rhea Ripley. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler beat up Natalya again for the 700th time. We've seen one of the weirdest segments in recent memories. I don't even know how I'm going to cover Bray Wyatt stuff. I don't get it anymore. I'm kind of over Bray Wyatt at this point. I loved. Look, I was so happy to see Bray Wyatt back at Extreme Rules. I thought it was one of the best things on the show, outside of the 6-man tag to open that show. But we're like, now we're 4 or 5 months removed from his return, and it's kind of like, eh, you know. They did the whole tease with the Uncle Howdy stuff. I'll get into all of that when I get to the Raw review, not Raw review, SmackDown review. Quick notes over SmackDown. I'm actually just gonna go ahead and talk about here. I didn't get to cover SmackDown, or not SmackDown, Raw. And also quickly I'll go over Dynamite as well. Dynamite was an all right show. Let me talk about Raw first because I didn't get to talk about Raw very much. So here's this. So I'm gonna actually just go over the results for Monday Night Raw since I didn't really talk about it here. So they were in Raw. Raw was still in Canada this week. We've seen the first part of the Sami Zayn getting back together with Kevin Owens here. They were talking about all the good stuff there with that. And I love the fact that Kevin Owens is just not gonna immediately get over what Sami Zayn did to him. And he's not gonna forgive him for what happened at Survivor Series and in War Games. So I love that they're gonna keep doing that. I cannot wait to see how Sami Zayn earns the trust back of Kevin Owens. That's gonna be an interesting stuff there. Kevin Owens basically said, if you want to take down the Bloodline, then why don't you go ask your buddy Jay? So that I'm still looking forward to see where they're gonna go with that, because we are gonna talk about what happened on SmackDown tonight between Jimmy Uso and Sami Zayn. We've seen some type of tease with Nikki Cross on Raw, where Nikki Cross I guess was told Candace that she's just stalking Candace because she's lonely and all of her friends are gone. I saw that and I heard it. I'm like, she's totally talking about Sanity coming back. Like this has to be setting up the return of Sanity at this point. And I think, and I kind of agree with a lot of people. I think they're gonna do Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae versus Nikki Cross and Eric Young maybe at WrestleMania. Um, again, we got 6 weeks, or we got 5 more weeks of this there to go for WrestleMania. We'll see what happens there. Um, we had a Ding Dang Hello segment, which is supposed to set up the return of Trish Stratus. Creative plans to change there. So next week on Raw is going to be Lita and Becky Lynch taking on Damage Control for this for the almost the NXT Tag Team Championships, the women's tag team titles. Next week they're gonna probably hopefully do something with Trish Stratus. Uh, there's talks of her turning heel. They could personally. Here's what I would do. I would do heel bit heel Trish versus babyface Becky at WrestleMania, but I don't know. We'll see what they'll do there. But that's and Finn Balor attacked Edge after his match with Austin Theory, pretty much confirming that's going to be one of the matches for WrestleMania. Edge and Finn Balor. And I'll talk about AEW because I want to go through some of the updated card here for Revolution, which is next weekend. Um, so yeah, more to that. But SmackDown opened up with actually it opened up first with a video package recapturing what happened at the Elimination Chamber this past weekend. Kayla Braxton is backstage waiting on Jimmy Uso to arrive to the arena. Jimmy walks up. He walks up. He didn't walk into the bunny. He walked up. Kayla asked him if he's spoken to Jey Uso. Jimmy says he hadn't spoken to his brother, and he keeps texting him, and he wants them to be in the ring to work out the issues, and that ended up being the closing segment of the show, which is we'll get to that with the whole Sami Zayn and Jimmy Uso thing. Next up, Imperium defeated the team of Braun Strowman, Ricochet, and Madcap Moss. Madcap Moss, they're still teasing a heel turn here with these two. Madcap Moss tags in Self, and Gunther hits him with a German suplex, and then the clothesline and the powerbomb for the win. After the match, the Viking Raiders come out of nowhere to blindside McIntyre, who was standing on the ramp, looking at the Imperium from behind the Brawling Brutes, or Sheamus rather, not Brawling Brutes. Brawling Brutes were nowhere to be seen. Sheamus comes in to help McIntyre. The Viking Raiders level him. Strowman and Ricochet then help Sheamus and McIntyre to fend off Viking Raiders, who just leave. And then that's how that stands up. So they're still teasing the stuff for the Intercontinental Championship, which I'm hoping is the three-way. I think this may be the only three-way on the show because I don't want to see any other three-way at WrestleMania. I'm tired of this. Oh, well, add them in a three-way because I saw that with. I'm still seeing that with the Sami Zayn stuff. That is not happening. I'll need to fucking stop with that. Um, Brock and Bray and Bobby do not need to be in a three-way either. I don't even care that Brock Lesnar on the show. I don't even care about seeing, like, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it if Brock is on the show or not. You know. Anyway, we're backstage with I almost said I almost said Mystico. I don't know why. We're backstage with Rey Mysterio. Rey says that he will make sure to put out Karrion Kross for good. Santos Gaspar walks in and interrupts him before he can continue. Escobar says that he and his family value respect more than anything. Says that he wants to show the WWE Universe he respects Rey Mysterio. Rey says the feeling is mutual. The two look for a handshake. Dominic walks in and Rhea Ripley also walks in. And they start ragging on his father. Says that Cross will put Ray to sleep, wishes his father good luck. Uh, and Ripley and uh, Dom leave while Escobar tells him not to worry or something. So it looks like they're teasing a babyface run for Santos Escobar, which is fine. Um, it does look like Escobar has a bright future ahead of himself if Triple H remains in charge of creative. Uh, you should be getting endorsed by Rey Mysterio. You're probably your chances on to succeed are pretty high at this point. Jimmy Uso, Paul Heyman, Solo Sikoa, in the locker room of the Bloodlines. Jimmy vents about the recent animosity between him and his brother. Heyman tells him that Sikoa will stay in the back while he handles his business with Jay alone. Then we get LA Knight talking about he's not here to talk about WrestleMania moments and whatnot. He doesn't care about WrestleMania moments basically. Um, Kofi Kingston come out. They talk a lot of nonsense. Uh, buries They buried Kofi Kingston and our Kofi Mania, and then Kofi Kingston, the New Day, just somewhat buried LA Knight. Uh, LA Knight's got LA Knight's got no direction on the show, man. You know what? Seth Rollins may have been right. It's like it's kind of hard to work with Bray Wyatt because after that, it goes downhill for anybody who works with him, and it's kind of sad. I mean, it took a while for Seth Rollins to get back where he's at, and now LA Knight's having that same effect here. But I don't care about that. Next up, Charlotte heads to the ring for her segment here. He starts talking on about whatever. Um, basically healing it up. That she's basically talking shit about Rhea. Dominic says you can't talk about Rhea that way as he's walking out to the ring. Um, basically says that Dominic says that Rick is basically a loser, worthless, and all that stuff. Same thing, and also calls Charlotte the same thing basically. Uh, and Charlotte said out of her mouth, "Oh, my dad can still go and probably could still whip your ass." I'm like, "No, he can't. No, he can't. Did you not watch the final match of Ric Flair? You gassed so fucking hard, almost died at the ring. Fuck off with that shit." Um, Rhea comes out, confronts her. They leave. Basically, that segment ends. Look, am I looking? Look, do I think the match is going to be good? Yeah. Do I think the right person should win should be Rhea Ripley? Yes. Should it main event? No. Should it? Do I care about the actual storyline that's being told right now? No. That's how I feel about that whole stuff. Shayna Baszler defeated Natalia again for the 7th time. No one cares. After the match, they try to beat down Natalia. Out comes Tegan Knox, who was there for some reason. Ronda Rousey calls her Skittles, which was funny. That was like the only funny thing on that entire show that she had. It's the only funny thing she's ever did, and coming back. Firefly Funhouse. This is it happened. It was a thing. I don't know what it leads to. There's stuff. There's teases of Alexa Bliss in here. There's Uncle Howdy being the weatherman now. Um, um, I don't know. This was kind of useless. But it does look like they're going in the direction of Bobby Lashley versus the Hurt Business. So I mean, if you want to, you could set this up for the White Sticks or whatever. I just don't care anymore. I stopped caring about Bray Wyatt's stuff after the LA Knight thing was kind of the where I stopped caring. Like the pitch black matches where I stopped caring. Like, come on now. Come on. And even and then they kind of stopped the whole thing because like originally they were supposed to hate each other is Uncle Howdy and Bray Wyatt, and now they're like fucking damn tighter than a fucking screw in a hole. Or we go back to stage again. Jimmy Uso, Paul Heyman, Solo Sikoa. Heyman shows Jimmy a text from Roman Reigns, says he'll be back on SmackDown next week. Hooray. Man decides and comes out of his man cave once in a while. Tells Jimmy that if he doesn't deal with Jay tonight, Roman will next week. Karen Cross defeated Rey Mysterio with the help of Dominic Mysterio. I didn't care about this. I was bored again. Cross jacket for the win. After the match, Dominic just tries to goad Rey into punching him, and Rey, being the little fucking wimp that he is, says nope, and just goes. Yeah, I don't care about the storyline anymore either. Like, either beat him up or just move the fuck on. I hope for Christ that they just do this match at WrestleMania and get over with. Main event segment: Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, the Bloodline stuff. Jimmy calls Jay to the ring. He's talking about he needs Jay a lot here because now he has to deal with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and he knows Jay's got his issues with the Tribal Chief. Uh, Sami Zayn comes in from behind, says that he is not here to talk, or he's not here to fight. He just wants to talk, and says that it breaks his heart to hear the word brother be thrown around, because that's what Sammy thought of Jimmy. He says Jimmy Uso vouched for him in the bloodline. Came up with all this stuff with the Usi and all that stuff. He said when he hit Roman with the chair, Jay, not Jay, Jimmy attacked Sammy at the Royal Rumble with no hesitation. Jimmy calls Sammy selfish. Says he's the one who hit. He says he's the one who made the choice to hit Roman with the chair. Says that Sammy stepped on him, and Jay says that he did that. He did what he did. He did what he had to do for his family. Sammy cuts him off and says, "You know what family doesn't do? Doesn't make you test your loyalty every week, jumping through hoops or manipulation, like Roman's done to you, both you and Jay." And and Jimmy had this look on his face, like he's making a lot of sense here. He says, he says, Sammy says he will ensure the bloodline comes crumbling down, and as Jimmy and Jay don't, and as says Jimmy and Jay don't go down with the ship. He says the Usos do not have to go down with the ship. Uh, Jimmy is trying to think of all the stuff here. Sammy looks up slightly and sees Jay, who had just come walking out and is in the crowd. Sammy gets attacked by Jimmy Uso. And while it's happening, Jay is walking down to the ring. But as soon as Sammy gets the upper hand with a hula kick, Jay stops. And Solo Sikoa runs down to the ring, gets into the ring. Sammy is gone. He stares down with Jay, and he escapes through the crowd. That's how SmackDown went off the air. SmackDown, outside of that segment alone, is SmackDown was a 5 for this week for me. That was an alright stuff here. This might be the lowest. This might be the shortest review I have here, but SmackDown was meh. The ending segment, beautiful stuff. This Bloodline segment just gets better and better. But again, WWE has finally basically told you guys, like, no, this story is not about Sami Zayn winning the goddamn world title. Get it through your fucking heads that it's going to be Jimmy Uso and Jey Uso defending their tag team titles against Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. The story has always been about Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, Kevin Owens. Roman Reigns is just there, okay? Roman Reigns is just these fucking side piece of this whole story. Because it's in Roman Reigns' story. It's with not with Kevin Owens, with Cody Rhodes at the moment. It was always going to be with Cody Rhodes. That was the WrestleMania plan for him. The other WrestleMania plan, which should be main eventing night 1, is the Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for the tag titles. Now, I don't know when we're gonna get to uh, the Kevin Owens thing. Maybe next week is when I don't know if they're gonna pull the trigger on the Kevin Owens Sami Zayn hug yet next week, but what happened? I don't know. That's why I'm intrigued. And this weird ass uh uh story that came out earlier today, that it was either today or yesterday, that WWE is concerned, quote unquote, that Sami's popularity is going to overshadow Cody Rhodes, his momentum going into WrestleMania. And I saw this, and I'm like, David fucking Meltzer. The WWE audience that watches these programs every week and goes to these shows every week, it's not the same audience that goes to AEW shows. It's not the same crowd. They're not turning on Cody Rhodes. They tested that whole fucking theory out last week when they put Cody and Sammy in the ring together, the same segment. Guess what? Cody Rhodes also got booed. Cody Rhodes got cheered. They were cheering for Cody and they were cheering for Sammy. It mind boggles me that people are upset for something that they actually wanted. These people, these fickle people, wanted for years to have multiple baby faces, credible baby faces to be able to challenge for the championship. And now that we have two, Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes, they have a problem with it because it's not what they want. But guess what? It doesn't matter what you want. It matters what the story calls for. And the story calls for Cody Rhodes to beat Roman Reigns, and the other part of the story calls for Sami Zayn and the Usos to beat the Usos or Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens to beat the Usos at WrestleMania. And I was talking to my friend about this the other day. I said, you know what would be cool? Because and I'm like, once Roman loses at WrestleMania, here's what you could do. I almost said Jay Uso. Jay White and I'm not saying throw Jay White in this storyline. I'm using him as an example of something of another story of something that he did at not Battle on the Valley. What the fuck was that show that he was uh New Beginning in Osaka? There it is, the Osaka show where he lost to Hikuleo. Jay White was so distraught and couldn't come to grips with the reality that he lost his loser leaves Japan match, and he just couldn't come to grips with it. That's what I want to see happen with Roman Reigns. He loses, and he cannot come to grips that he lost the undisputed Universal Championship, and he's no longer the head of the table or the tribal chief. Well, he could be the head of the table, but he won't be the tribal chief. Right? Like he's like distraught, and he's just can't come to grips with it, and he goes away for a couple months. I fucking guarantee you, those titles, these shows will benefit with not having Roman on the show every week. Not that he's on there every week to begin with, but him holding the shows will benefit without him holding hostages of the championships. Because once Cody has them, whether they want to split the titles or not, we'll figure that we'll think about that after WrestleMania. Cody will have the championships, and whether or not they decide to split the titles, that's up to Triple H. But Cody Rhodes will be on the show every week on both Raw and SmackDown. And if they want to split the titles, then Cody Rhodes would probably be on Raw, and then SmackDown will get whoever. Hell, you know what? If they split the tag titles, or not to split the tag titles, they split the world titles and put the undisputed, the undisputed, the Universal title becomes a singles title. They could do King of the Ring, which I need to mention here. Uh, and the winner of the King of the Ring could become the new Universal Champion. And let me talk about this here. WrestleNomics reported today, actually, either this morning or sometime yesterday, the WWE is bringing back the King of the Ring pay per view for May 27th, 2023. Uh, the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments will be held on that night. I don't know how they're going to do that. I'm curious. And then I believe that another one here is Backlash was also announced. Or not announced, but it was reported that Backlash is going to take place on May 5th, I think. May 8th. Or no, May 6th. So the current trajectory of pay-per-view events lined up for WrestleMania is WrestleMania Night 1 and 2 on April 1st and 2nd, Backlash on Saturday, May 6th, WWE King and Queen of the Ring um, Saturday, May 27th, which the very next day is AEW's Double or Nothing event. Money in the Bank on July 1st, and SummerSlam on August 5th. So there is that. So that was SmackDown for you guys. Um, I would love the idea of the new King of the Ring, which is rumored to be in Saudi Arabia. Fucking hope not. Put Backlash in Saudi Arabia. Don't fucking put King of the Ring, King, Queen of the Ring, because then Shayna Baszler really should win Queen of the Ring this year. I'm sorry. Like I don't give a fuck what Saudi Arabia thinks about fucking. I don't give a shit what they think about about human rights. They can go fuck themselves. Shayna Baszler should win Queen of the Ring this year. I'm sorry. Like a refreshed Shayna Baszler, in my opinion, with Triple H writing this show, should win Queen of the Ring, and King of the Ring should be. Ooh, that's a good. That's good. That's actually a good. A good. Who could win King of the Ring this year? Let me look at the WWE roster here because I put that on spreadsheet here. The WWE roster here. So for Raw, it could be anybody. Uh, put, I don't want to put on another heat. Oh well, they put on Xavier Woods last year. Oh, another thing, and I agreed with who said this? I think it was I think it was Cultaholic that mentioned it. Was the Cultaholic or no? It was Cultaholic. Did a video on it, and I agree. Do not make the winners of the King and Queen of the Ring wear the fucking gimmick and the fucking crown or all that shit. Not everyone is not everyone's Booker T. Not everyone is that worked for Booker. Not everyone's Booker T. Not everyone is William Regal. Not everyone is Owen Hart, and not everyone is Randy Savage. I'm sorry. And to be fair, this one kind of is tailor made for Charlotte, but Charlotte should not win. Here's the other thing. Here's why my other worry about doing this is Rhea's gonna win the title, and then Charlotte's gonna get a fucking Queen of the Ring crown. Um, but for the women, I do think it should be Shayna Baszler. For the men, this one's kind of could could give it to Finn Balor if you want to. Finn Balor, who's doing great work here as a member of Judgment Day. That's another thing you could do here. You could also give it to Seth Rollins if you want to give it to a babyface. Um, if you don't want to do a heel, you can do a babyface. On SmackDown, you can give it to you. You know what? If if you want to put the if you want to put the title on Gunther, one of the titles on Gunther, and again, this is if they're splitting up the titles. Um, you can have Gunther drop the Intercontinental Championship, and I can make a case here for him entering King of the Ring and winning it, and then him setting up a match at SummerSlam against if against Cody, and you could do that there. So that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Dynamite was all right. Show was yeah. Uh, Of course, they had the big announcement from Tony Khan that was not. They labeled it as Tony Khan's important announcement. An announcement that was never actually made by Tony Khan. It was the reality show that no one cares about. There's that. Adam Cole will be returning to the ring next month somehow. I don't think he's going to be at Double or not Double or Nothing. What the fuck is that show in next weekend? Revolution. I don't think that's going to be the plan. I don't think Jay White's going to AEW. I do think he's going to go to WWE. Orange Cassidy Willier had a phenomenal banger for the All Atlantic Championship. Moxley and Uno had a great fucking match. Uno, in my opinion, paid tribute to the great Muta who did retire earlier this week. Had two retirement matches. Poor Naito still can't main event the Tokyo Dome, even outside of New Japan. Naito beat Muta, and then Muta beat a surprising return to the ring for Masahiro Chono. Quickly, like minute and a half, just for the fun of it. Muto gave Chono his retirement match as well because unfortunately Masahiro Chono didn't get to retire on his own terms. He suffered an injury that forced him to retire. But it was cool to see Muto help that out. Muto, based on a report from I must say Fightful from WrestleVotes, that the plan is for the Great Muta to go into the WWE Hall of Fame this year. That was the what was the fucking thing here? It was, let me see if I can find it here. It was not the caveat, but the where the fuck is it? Why can't I find it? Um, Let me see. Muta is it? I'm trying to find it. Hang on. Put it on here somewhere. Where the fuck did it go? Muta. It's on here somewhere. Oh well. Oh well. It doesn't matter. But that was the caveat for Nakamura being allowed to wrestle it to do that match there. Um, but let's talk about the updated card for not Mr. Dynamite for Revolution. Uh, Matches that were announced this week. Ricky Starks, Chris Jericho, everyone's banned from ringside. I don't care about that. The Trios Championship is Elite take on the House of Black. That's going to be a show stealer there. Jamie Hayter defends the AEW Women's title against Saraya and Ruby Soho. God, I hope Jamie Hayter retains her because I love Ruby Soho and I do like Saraya, but Saraya's not doing it for me. The Ass Boys defend the AEW Tag Titles in a 4-way against the acclaimed Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal, and a team to be announced during the Battle Royal next week on Dynamite. TNT Championship on the line. Samoa Joe defends against Wardlow. Texas Deathmatch. Jon Moxley takes on Hangman Adam Page, and the 60-minute Iron Man match for the AEW Championship. MJF defends against Bryan Danielson. Matches that could be added to the show. Tony Storm and Hikaru Shida. Maybe. Depends on if they want to do that or not. Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. The Face of the Revolution ladder matches actually happening on Dynamite. That was confirmed on the show here on Rampage tonight. And maybe an All Atlantic Championship match. And then maybe they'll just have that on Dynamite or the Rampage before Revolution. But that would do it for me this week for WWE and AEW, all that stuff. I will hopefully be back here starting next week. I'm gonna try to get back on track here with these reviews. I don't know. I just haven't felt. I've been trying to get over a cough and a cold. So the week prior, not full, and my sleep schedule is kind of fucked up because of that. But I will see you guys back here for Monday Night Raw. And then hopefully from there we'll do AEW Dynamite, the final Dynamite before Revolution and the Revolution preview and predictions, plus SmackDown next week as well. And then they got the AEW Revolution review. I've been Matt the Misfit. This has been the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. Until the next time, we're out.